Hello, the game has started and it's me to go first. I have a pretty poor rack and I'm thinking of playing few just to get rid of two of the clunky consonants. I don't like the V and the W together, so I'm going with few. Okay, a little bit better, but still a bit clunky with the F, V and U. Now fauve is good, F-A-U-V-E, and it takes an S, I think. One way of getting rid of the U would be F-E-U, leaving vase. Let's see what opponent does with his opening move. Okay, he plays fur. Let's do fauves and furs for 31. Yeah. Not a good pickup. Draw another U and duplicate the ends and the other V as well. So not ideal. But one way of resolving the rack would be a play of vuln or vulns and fuse. I think fauves might take a T as well. Now opponents played yang and the Y doesn't really help me apart from Yule, which is a shocking rack leave. Yeah, not seeing any great plays there. I mean, I could play fauve again for 22, but again the rack leave, not great. What about vulns and fuse? 20. Not good. 3 I's and the J. Well, the J's good for score, but yoni would be one way to get rid of an I and another vowel. Ogyme through, okay, opponent does bingo. Enjoin doesn't quite reach. Enjoin, no. I have Jinnah, but doesn't reach the triple word square, and I'm not seeing a way to do that with the J. Inion. That's one way of getting rid of two I's. 18. Not good. I'd draw some more vowels, but I do have the J and the K for score. Egypt onto a T. That's no good. Face value. What about yike? 33. X hotspot has been identified at 6F. Might be worth keeping an eye on that spot. Opponent's taken my spot for yike. Fakey doesn't quite work. Oh. Okay, what to do? I have gin and jink. Jink. Yeah, I think I'll go with this for 31. Deities. Making the blank D. Doesn't quite work underneath yang. Cyanite is good as well. That would work with Veeps, if Veep takes an S. Furs, what does furs take? And what about the R? Raytheist, Gaieties, just wondering about a play incorporating the P and pluralizing Taintia. Tipsiest, not quite. Gaieties will score best for 70. Deoxy and desoxy are both good. That would play beautifully underneath Gaieties, but I doubt that'll remain available. Now I do have the X, so at a minimum I'll be getting 50 points on this next turn. A play of Docs, 54. No way of playing across the top of TO, so that AX hook not really offering much to opponent. Rack leave pretty decent. Wow, big score by opponent, 92 points. This is why I was hesitant to play in that spot. I think I will go with docks for 54. Azuri is good. The Z always holds out the hope of a good score. So Z, wow, that would be great if I could get across to the double. Unlikely for the spot to remain available, but you never know. Now I do have saz here, which is a musical instrument, a small guitar with 3 strings, I believe. That's a 49-point play. Wow, so close to getting across, but not seeing a way. Opponent has taken that spot. And I'm not seeing a way to get across there. What about a Z play starting at 10M and pluralizing dimeter? If dimeter in fact can be pluralized. Veep, VP. Jink. I don't think Jink takes a Y. I'm tempted to hang on to the Z, but Saz is just too big a score to turn down. 49. Scores are fairly level. VP. I'm thinking of VP. VEE, PEE. I'm not sure if it just takes a Y on its own. Looking at 5-letter plays beginning with the B and incorporating the Y. That would score handsomely. Not seeing such a play. Bore, no. B-ray. B-ray might be good actually. Not sure about that one. Now there's also a BR play here. That would score decently. Opponent taking some time with this move. Perhaps he's close to a bingo. Opponent plays up there. B-ray for 38. So slender lead, but have created a hot spot here at 12L across. So I could be punished, but 38 was too good to pass up anyway. What about plays across the top of Veep. Not a great rack, this one. Coombe is good. 39-point play. The rack leave is always going to be subpar. But Coombe also plays for 29 up here. I'd love to get rid of the U. Muick. No. Ah, Coombe plays here for a handsome score. 44. Now, the rack's still pretty ropey, but a little better with the CH synergy. Still a blank unseen, and if opponent is to have that on his rack, then wow, look at these remaining tiles, extremely bingo-y. Apart from the B, even the B, these tiles are very strong. Wondering about a play like Ich, but that still doesn't address bingos ending in S. That's 27, 4 tiles in the bag. I need to outrun opponent, and I'll be picking up the last 4, or at least 3 of them. Wow, what about Hock? I think Hock takes an S, does it? Or just a K? I should know this. Hock. 35. I'm going with this. Or am I? I think it might just be a K. Let's see what opponent. He's got the 1 vowel. Does he have vowels to play through? He has these 2 E's. I need to just focus on the highest score that I can achieve with my tiles, hoping that opponent won't outrun me, because he'll possibly be going out in 2, so there's a slight advantage there. Tainture takes an S. Hare takes nothing I've got. Where are the highest scoring spots? Log and nothing after dam that I've got. Wow, this is tricky. I mean, air can't be best surely for 19. If opponent goes out in 2, I've got to do better than that. Gora. I don't want to leave a vowel out there for him, so Gur. Oh, does the R help opponent? Probably not, and neither does the... Yeah, I think I'm going with this. Gur for 22. I can't see how that O can help opponent. And the R certainly doesn't help opponent either, so even if I can't go out, it doesn't matter, because I should have enough. Una I, but UW doesn't work. Air at a minimum for 9. No 4-letter plays with the C. Diameter. Can't extend that. Alu, but Eru, no good. What about just Annie? That'll be worth considering for 10. Pert, okay. Opponent's play hasn't provided anything for me, so I think I'll go with Annie for 10. And then opponent, can opponent go out with BLN blank? Unlikely. And where would I play my U? I have low, L-O-U. I have up, so I'm definitely going out if opponent doesn't first. Wow, pretty close at the end there. If opponent had a vowel, he might have been better poised to bingo. An extra vowel, that is. He just had the one. So he's now lost 10 points. Time forfeit. Or a time penalty, I should say. The forfeit occurs once his clock goes down beyond a minute. But I'm sure he'll make a play before then. Most I can see is BO and BE for 16. Actually, oboe, he could use the blank and then he'd get 19. But yeah, just 10 seconds to go and then he forfeits on time. Ah, he's played Bon. Ah, that's good. 13 he got there, but I'll go with low and nu. And that's the end of the game. 449 to 406. Thank my opponent for the game. And let's see what we missed in that one. So we'll just have a look at the options. Few. Now the analyzer is suggesting getting rid of both F's. I don't like V and W together. I prefer F and V together, but I guess the analyzer knows best and says that the synergy of ESVW is better than the synergy of EFSV. So there you have it. Not much in it though. No bingo here, but pretty close. Opponent plays off fur and leaves a beautiful 5-letter set. And now I have Forvs for 31 was the highest score. Forv at 7H, playing across the top but leaving an E above this double letter. Not going to happen on my watch. So even though it's a fantastic rack leave, it just gives back such an easy high score for opponent. So not doing that. Fours was safer. Now opponent's got a much better looking rack. And as it happens, if I had played fourv, I would have left an E hanging out there for opponent, and yeah, I think there would have been a bingo there, but not sure. Now, Yang for 37 was best, and then Valnes was very close in equity to Nevis. J4. Okay, getting the V tripled, so a little bit extra point-wise, but the EN much better than LN. Now opponent's got a dream rack here, so Tanger, 82, and Retirant, Ratline, there were a few. Tanger for 82, four-timer. Now, Inian gets an equity score of 18 because it gets rid of both eyes. Joined for 26 was 4C across. Higher score, but look at that rack leave, IIE. If you pick up another I, you're really in trouble. So I went with Inian. Seems fine. Yogi for 24. Opponent also had duplicates, as did I. And I went with Jink for 31. But Kanji through the AN, KANJI, that's quite nice as well for one extra point. Very similar though. I like Jink because I'm very unlikely to bingo even after playing Jink. Well, I say very unlikely, but EEI, if I draw a few consonants, I could bingo, so maybe taking that N out wasn't the best idea. Maybe Kanji preserve the N for a potential bingo next turn. Very close though, not much in it. Preed for 28, Veep for 24, not much between those. And then Visitee, that's quite nice. Visitee for 76, N2. Okay, but exposing the trip. Gaieties also exposed the trip, but Visitee scored more because of pluralizing Veep. And then Cyanite, which I identified as well, was from N4 down. So yeah, Gaieties. Now that gave opponent a monster 92-point comeback. He could have got an extra point with Mitered, but nothing wrong with that score. Now Desoxy I did identify, but it's, why could I not see? Oh, of course, pluralizing Veep. I was so fixated on this bottom right spot with the hotspot here that I didn't even think of Desoxy up here after actually identifying the word. So that just shows how your train of thought can easily be switched by opponents or redirected to a different part of the board, and it just happens that way. But Docs was pretty high scoring, so I like that. Waller for 25, War for 31. That looks fine. Now Suz for 49 was the highest score available, but Upsy through the P, Tanger, and EY, Upsy. So that's a good score, 37 with almost a guaranteed 37 minimum next turn or more. RAZ excellent rack leave for score potential, especially if you draw an E. Mind you, there were only 2 E's to come. But I do like Upsy. Suz was fine though. Good score, very similar equity scores as well. Dilly for 15 through the 2 disconnected eyes. And yeah, just alongside there. Opponent went with Hid, and then Boy for 31. That's across the top there, but it does give back easy score to opponent. Very nice rack leave. I went with Beret for 38, which also seems fine. And it took out this hotspot, which opponent couldn't use. Dealt for 27, opponent goes with Laid, and then that gives me a monster 44-point comeback, which at this stage of the game, I'm a little surprised opponent, although maybe opponent was drawing me into playing there, hoping I wouldn't score that much, but creating a bingo lane by leaving a floater at 8A, which is what a lot of the top players would do when they're approaching a bingo and they recognize that there are limited bingo lanes available. They can create an extra lane to make sure that, or improve the chances of bingoing next turn. Because, for example, if I played a 6-letter play ending in Y, I'd be killing this bingo lane in column N for bingos, pluralizing Veep as well as pluralizing B-ray. So that could, and it would kill the R as a floater. So that was a good move in a way, because also it created the B front hook, Blade, and Slade might be good as well, but it also created the it encouraged me to play underneath Laid, which would have opened another lane. As it happens, opponent drew the Q, and at this stage scores well with the Q. But then Hour for 35, okay, that's 12L across. Now that's quite dangerous considering how bingo-y these tiles are. So opponent, I don't know if leaving the R there would have been ideal, so I didn't want to do that. I played Hock. As it happens, opponent didn't have 2 or 3 of the remaining vowels. He only had 1. When we look at the pool here, I had to assume that opponent had A-O blank and a few tiles, or A-E blank and a few tiles, or O-E blank and a few tiles. I had to assume he had 2 of the vowels, because, yeah, you always have to put your opponent on the strongest rack in terms of mitigating damage when assessing. So the double L helped me and not my opponent. That severely restricted what opponent could do, given he only had 1 vowel. And he plays off one of the L's, hoping. Now Gur for 22 kills the Veep S hook, and the R certainly doesn't help opponent because he needs vowels, not consonants. So I was pretty safe playing Gur. As it happens, I don't think opponent had a bingo anyway, pluralizing Veep. So no, it's game, set and match at that stage. Actually, let's have a look at what his highest score here was. Bop for 30, utilizing the blank as an A. That's not bad, actually. That puts, mind you, it's still 4-12, and I've got an 18-point lead. If he plays Bop, then I still have a decent... No, I think I still outrun opponent. He doesn't have enough there. So, oh, and the most he could have got here was Noble for 27. That would have drawn him pretty close. 430 and then 433, 437, because I still had one tile on my rack. No, it wouldn't have been enough for him to win, but pretty close at the end there. Yeah, and then he had the time penalty, so it didn't look that close, but it actually was. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.